So, as we're winding down, I really gotta say, I think 2024 was a really good year for Marvel. I say it as quote unquote the year of the X-Men. With the success of Deadpool and Wolverine and the love for X-Men 97, I think this was a really great year for just Marvel in general and for the amazing comeback of the X-Men in general. And along with that, we had other side projects such as Echo and Agatha all along, which was, okay. It wasn't like anything like special, but still pretty alright. But I think with next year coming up with 2025, I think that is Marvel's do or die. Because as I said, with 2024 being the year of X-Men, we hadn't had anything MCU related. But I would say that after Phase 3, every Marvel win that they have had a slight asterisk at the end with it. Like, for example, Deadpool and Wolverine, even though that was a billion-dollar hit and was a great success for Marvel Studios, it wasn't really a Marvel Studios film. It wasn't really focused on anything MCU related. But with that, you had other movies that aren't really considered Marvel wins. For example, we had something like No Way Home, which was produced by Sony, so it's not exactly technically in the Marvel Studios wheelhouse there. And you had something else like Wakanda Forever, which was not really a Marvel Studios win, but more so was just people, paying respects to Chadwick Boseman. Because yeah, it made a lot of money, but I really think a lot of the goodwill went towards like paying respects to his character and all that. And then we have Scarlet Witch Multiverse of I meant Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which almost made $1 billion, but I don't really think that came from Marvel Studios. I think that really just came from the fact that people really wanted to see the cameos that they promised, which was very underwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. And then we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which wasn't really a Marvel Studios win, but a James Gunn win. Because as most people have said, Marvel Studios, when it comes to their director, they don't really have that much style, which I do agree with to some extent. But with Guardians of the Galaxy in all their movies, it's really just about his style, his taste of comedy. But when it comes to James Gunn, it really is like his baby, like his creation. And the fact that it takes place in their own part of the galaxy, get it? And just in general, it just really was self-contained to him. And it doesn't help the fact that he left Marvel for DC and he's working with them now, so what are you gonna do, I guess? But yeah, it's where every other Marvel win doesn't really seem like theirs. But with 2025, it really seems like it is do or die for Marvel. Because with the projects they have coming out, it really is gonna be like what's gonna shape Phase 6 and just going forward into like Avengers Doomsday and everything. Because we have the first one up on the docket for 2025, the major release, the major motion picture film, Captain America Brave New World. And as much as I really want to be excited for this movie, there is just a lot of detractors that make me very worried about it. Because first and foremost, people have said this whenever this movie has been talked about, there have been so many reshoots and so much money put into this movie that they had to make practically like $1 billion to make a profit. Because this movie has been test screened, it has been redone, remade, and yeah, sure, reshoots are like part of the norm for Hollywood, but up to this degree, it is insane to think about. And I think this is the main thing here is, as much as I love Anthony Mackie, I think he is a great actor, I just don't think he has the pull to headline a Captain America film. I loved him as Falcon. I think he did really great in Falcon the Winter Soldier. But just from looking at it, it doesn't really feel like he has a real purpose in this movie. At least up to the degree that Captain America previously did in the other movies. Because with this, I feel like this movie doesn't really feel like he has anything really to do personal to him. It just feels like he's just along for the ride. Unlike other Captain America films to where he was the real driving focus, like for Winter Soldier, that was about his relationship with Bucky. With Civil War is about his ideals and being a hero in general. And for the first Captain America movie, do I even need to say anything? But for this one, you have villains like the Leader, you have Red Hulk. We got Harrison Ford turned into the Hulk in this one. Like, what are we doing? And along with that fact is just the fact that, like, I feel like audience members and just me personally, I feel like we haven't had enough time to really connect with Sam as Captain America, because it's been since 2019 since he's got the shield. And outside of Falcon the Winter Soldier, which was just a Disney Plus show, we haven't seen much of him as Captain America. Hell, he wasn't even Captain America until like the last part of that show. And I feel like after the failure of Ant-Man 3 Quantumania, to where that was setting up the next Avengers film, which I gotta say, wow, the King the Conqueror, man, he's really gonna be the next villain of the MCU. But that's just one of the many movies and shows that are coming out next year. Next up, we have Thunderbolts, which I'm not that much worried about it because I really like the dynamics, the chemistry between the characters and all that. My problem is just the fact that they're using like a lot of phase 4 and 5 characters in this. Most of them just have like the same powers, because outside of Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, which isn't exactly my favorite MCU movie, and the fact that she was like one of the only redeeming qualities, and that's not really saying much, is the fact that most of them are just like, they have the same powers, you know what I mean? You have Bucky, John Walker, and the Red Guardian, which are all super soldiers. You have Yelena, Taskmaster, which are basically just super spies. And man, that just reminded me of how they ruined Taskmaster. That's a great reminder. And this is like also a minor thing. I don't really take a big issue with this, is the fact that it's like nothing like the comics at all. Like the Thunderbolts in the actual comics or shows that they appear in are like actually like super villains. Like no one in the Thunderbolts in the movie coming up are actual villains. Like yeah, sure, they're like anti-heroes or like, you know, these like heroes without a purpose, really, but none of them are really like evil per se. It's like whenever people say that Shadow's an anti-hero, even though in every game he still does the right thing, like, ooh, he's mysterious. No, he's not. He's just edgy.
I don't think so, Eggman. You have to do what I say, or else you're under arrest. Eggman, egg face, egg poopy butt.
You maybe the don't you ever fucking call me that ever again. I'll kill you.
I'll kill you.
Next up, we have Fantastic Four, and we don't really have much knowledge on this one, at least like compared to like footage or trailers or anything like that. We do know that it's not going to take place in the MCU, but a different universe. But honestly, my real thing here is just I really hope it's good, because we need some new blood in the MCU, because all of the quote-unquote new blood that's in the MCU is just really cringe, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the Fantastic Four, they need to bring new life into this series, because until the X-Men come in, we don't really have much. Like, what do we have? The Young Avengers? I'm sorry, who are you? But like, I really hope it's good, because I think like out of like the last 20 or so years, we have never got a good depiction of the Fantastic Four ever since 2005.
You did it!
We did it.
A romantic. Well, Reed, I guess you won the battle. But I will win the war. Today is Doomsday.
Coincidence? I think not!
But with that, outside of the movies, like we have the shows, which I don't think any of them really like matter like long run per se. Like yeah, sure, I hope that they're good, but I think in terms of affecting people's perception of the MCU, I think that they're gonna be fine there. I mean, like, we have Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I have potential. I think that's going to be good. I think what is going to matter, though, is going to be Daredevil Born Again. Not in the sense of, like, it's going to draw big eyes on the MCU, but I feel like this is going to be just like Andor, to where, like, I think, like, enough people are going to watch it, but I really think it's the quality that's going to save it in terms of people's perception, because I love Daredevil. I just watched it last year. I think it is like one of the best that Marvel has to offer, and if they nail this, then I really think we have potential cooking right here. And then, ooh, this one actually does matter too. It's Ironheart, and I just want to say this. I don't want to hate on her or anything like that, but she was my least favorite character in Wakanda Forever. She felt tacked on, unnecessary. Her suit really sucks, in my opinion. She's just not that real intriguing to me, and it just feels like a byproduct of like Marvel during Phase 4 and 5, and it just feels like they just pushed it here, because I know it's been delayed, and I just feel like Marvel just wants to put it out. You know, they just kind of just want to wipe their hands clean with it and just forget about it, which I don't blame them. And then we have Eyes of Wakanda and Marvel Zombies, which, you know, it's going to be okay, I guess, most likely. I'll probably review it or whatever. And then we have Wonder Man, which I'm not that well versed on. I don't really know Wonder Man like that in the comics or, you know, any shows. I hope it's good. Maybe. kind of. I don't know. Yeah, no, that's really about it. My main concerns are really Captain America, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Daredevil, and Ironheart. Captain America 4, that's really gonna make or break it, I'm telling you, man. But yeah, no, that's really about it for Marvel going into 2025. If you stayed this long throughout the video and liked it, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on all my socials. I really hope you have a great day. But in terms of Marvel going forward, just play Marvel Rivals. It's one of the greatest games ever, man.
Who are you calling a raccoon, huh?
There it is. There's my boy.
Always nice to have
It's
a
just
couple
the
of
shark. Bro is actually an industry plan. I'm not kidding you. Like, I never even heard of this guy until this game. Where is everyone at?